Hello and welcome back to the channel. We've got something a little bit different today. So I had the compressor that many of us have bought, the I'm going to call it the Chinese one. I don't know, I can't remember the exact name for it, but it's the tiny little compressor that sits on the tank, and it's sort of this size, 1/8. It is actually, it's 1/8 BSP. So the other night it blew a hole. So the tank's completely had it. It's not the sort of thing you can really repair. So I wanted to get a new tank, and I looked around, and I didn't want to spend they're about 80 quid for these tanks, and it didn't really last that long. And I thought, you know what, for an extra 40-50 quid, I can have a much bigger capacity tank, and just much better all round. Okay, that's great. There's a downside to that though. I looked around and I scoured the internet, and nowhere do they tell you how to get from this, which is a quarter BSP, to this 1/8 on a modern air compressor. I was unable to find anything, so I've spent the last week ordering parts and getting bits and pieces in, and this is what I discovered. I was told by Screwfix it couldn't be done, I was told by B&Q it couldn't be done, and I was told by Toolstation it could not be done. You cannot turn a modern compressor with a 1/4 BSP into a 1/8 BSP. I accepted that challenge, and this is it. So let's get to it. So this is the Hyundai Silent, well, it says Super Silent actually, Super Silent oil-free compressor. Link will be in the description. It's around £119.99 off of Amazon. It's got an 8-litre tank, and that's about it really. I'm not going to review the compressor itself because there's a lot of reviews already out there on this, and there's nothing I can really add to them. But I can add my thoughts on this here. So this is a 1/4 BSP Euro 20 Quick Connect. Now, as many of you will know, our hobby runs on 1/8 BSP, and you can't get one of them in 1/8 that I'm aware of. I've been round, I've asked around, I've been to all the big shops as I mentioned in the introduction, but to no avail. I was told it's not possible to do it. So with that said, we are now going to prove them wrong on that count. So the first thing you're going to need to do on this is remove that, and I'll tell you why in the next section, because we're going to go over to the table now, and we're going to prep some of the connections and look at some of the other bits we're going to need to get this done. It's not a very difficult process. I think anyone can do this. So yeah, let's carry on. Okay, so here we are. You're going to need a few items. Well, not too many, but one of the main things is you're going to need some PTFE tape, also known as plumber's tape, thread tape, or I don't know any other names, but there's probably quite a few out there. And it's basically a plastic type tape that goes around the threads, and it seals. against hydraulic oil, sorry, not hydraulic oil, water, air, although I have used it in my engineering days on a grinding machine on some hydraulic pipes, and it worked quite well, so maybe it can be used for that. You're also going to need a spanner or something that will work. I've got some monkey wrench grips here, mechanical grips, some pipe wrench type. But if you've got the proper size, it'd be great. I think it's quarter BSP. I don't know what that is in metric. Is it 10, 11 mil, something like that? I'm not sure. So those are the items you're going to need for this stage and for the lot really. So put them to one side. Let's have a look now at what you need to buy. So the first item, and all these will be linked in the description below. You're going to need a 1/4 inch to 1/8 BSP reducer. You're also going to need to get yourself a water trap. Now, if you get the one that I link in the description below, it comes with all the necessary pieces inside. Not all of them do, I will tell you that. Not all of them do. So there we go. That's all our bits and pieces there. Why do we need an air regulator? Well, I guess the first thing I should point out is that this tutorial here is just for that Hyundai 8-litre tank. It may be useful for other brands, you know, but you'll need to do your research beforehand. Now, most air compressors come with a water trap. And the water trap has an air regulator on the top of it. For some reason this one doesn't. It just outputs the 120 psi or whatever it is, so the tank just fills up and you use the full force of it, pumping up tyres, things like that. So it's totally no good for airbrushing unless you can regulate the air pressure, and that's what this does. So you can either do it this way, which is the best way, or you can get an inline air trap, which is about so big, sits underneath your airbrush, and does a similar job, but not as well, I would say. But so that's why we've got this one. Now, earlier on in the video, I did actually mention that you couldn't get these in 1/8. You can actually, but I've already gone and bought all the pieces for this now, so I'm only using one pipe. So I'm just going to keep with this. If I put any quick release mechanisms on, it will be later on, and they'll be on this device here. You know, they'll be on my airbrushes. So the first things we have to do, I've taken the old connector off. The reason I've taken that off is because it's a different type of quick release mechanism on this. This is a Euro 20. I think this is NPT, or known as NBT, and the two won't connect, interconnect. So you know, you've got to do them separately. So I've got to get it right. Yeah, that's the one for, hold on. Yeah, that's the one for this one. And as you can tell, this is the one from the opposite one. They're completely different, and they won't work together at all. So there we go. Right, don't want to get them mixed up, so I'm going to pop that one back in here where it belongs. There we go. That's out of the way. So we've got to get this ready. So the first thing is this red screw has to come off, and this goes on. It'll only go on the one way, and that's so that you can attach it to the side of the compressor if you wish. I'm not going to attach this because there's not really that much weight on it, and there's nowhere really for me to attach this. I'm only putting it on there so that it doesn't get lost. If I need to use it at a later date, I can, and I don't have to go looking for it. Right, so that's on there. Next thing we need to do is we'll put on our connectors. That's got to go on the air compressor. That's the quick release bit. This is going to go, yeah, this has to go on here, and it has to go on the correct way. Now let's get some PTFE tape, and we're gonna just hold it down over the thread there and try and keep it open as possible, and then we want to wind it a few times around. There we go. Not too much. Where's my blade? There we go. Alright, that's that side. And we're going to put the same on this side. Oh dear, I've tangled that up a bit there. Doesn't normally matter as a rule. Come on, let's just get rid of that. I screwed that up. There we go. Apologies for being off the camera a bit there. It's real bloody awkward stuff to. There we go. Come on. Right, let's try that. If we have a leak, we will have to go back one by one and sort them out. Right, the final item we need to get tape on is the dial indicator. Now this one doesn't have bar or PSI. It has kilogram per centimeter squared, and I can't remember what MPa is, but basically 2 kilogram per centimeter squared is roughly about 30 PSI. I think that's what I worked it out as. You definitely don't want to cover that hole, because that's where the air goes in, and then the air pressure is recorded on like a metal. It's like a metal type of band inside. Right, so now we need to assemble this, which is pretty straightforward. Our yep. That's going to go in there. We'll tighten these up in a minute. And that goes on there, and that goes on here, and obviously the hose connects here. Right. Right. So, right, that should do. That should do on that one. Now the problem is I don't have anything to get into that one, so I'm going to have to hope that I can do it up enough. Wrong side. Right. There we go. A little bit more and we've got it nice and straight. Okay, right. So that's good. We just got to put this one on the air compressor, which I'm going to have to do off screen. So what I'll do is I'll connect these, and then in a minute we'll come back and I'll get the pipe put on and we'll give it a test. Back in a second. Okay, so here we are. Sound might be a bit weird because I've got the camera down low. The compressor's under the desk, but everything, as you can see, is now set up. We've got the 1/4 inch water tap going into the with the 1/4 1/8 BSP reducing thread, which gives us our airbrush. So we'll just turn it on, make sure everything's okay, and there we go, filling up with air. So the dial on the right shows you the maximum pressure, and the dial on the left shows you the pressure that I've regulated it to for the brush. At the moment I've got it set to 30 psi. So, I mean, I can start now. We'll wait till it cuts out so you can hear. And there we go, that's the tank full, and as you can see, and we can adjust that up and down as we like. The one comment I would make, this is probably the cheapest, one of the cheapest water traps I could get. It is a bit loose, so if you really yank on it, you can hear some air escaping. My options were to send it back and get a better one, but I've put a rubber ring on the I've put a rubber O-ring over the thing and plugged that in, and it seems to have helped a lot. Saying that, it is losing a tiny bit of air over a long period of time, and I think that would be completely repaired with a better one of these, and that's so that would be you know, up to you. If I was rebuilding it from scratch, where I didn't have to keep, you know, adjusting everything, I would say go for a better one than the one I've listed below. It's not the water trap that's the problem, it's the connection here. It's a bit cheap, so maybe you could go with this and just use a much better connection there. Yeah, so that would be my advice for that. But yeah, Screwfix, B&Q, tool station, I give you what said couldn't be done. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.